Welcome everybody to another Roster Bubble Series video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops through your drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. If you've never been to a Roster Bubble Series video before, I'll catch you up. Basically, I talk about a player who's on the roster bubble who may get cut, who may not get cut. I talk about their background. I talk about their competition, how they can win a spot, how they can lose a spot, and then followed up at the end by a prediction. So this one's an interesting candidate, and this one is also a dislike candidate. That candidate / profile is Gary Brightwell. Gary Brightwell was drafted out of Arizona in 2021 by the New York Giants in the 6th round. Now, a lot of people later on didn't understand this pick because Brightwell wasn't necessarily the running back that they had wanted. And I'll explain that. Myself included, I wanted a running back to back up Saquon Barkley, to back up Devontae Booker, a young stud. There was a lot of running backs to choose from. I think Puka Williams was one of the guys. He later went to Cincinnati. There was a couple of different running backs within the draft, especially in the later rounds. And I had my eye on a couple of guys, but they picked Gary Brightwell. And I'm like, okay, and this is at the time, of course, the drafting. Okay, they pick a running back. Later on, though, a lot of people didn't understand it. So in training camp, in the preseason, a lot of people didn't know what to think. He didn't really show much, and that's why I kind of did a roster bubble video on him, because he didn't show much. Special teams, that's about it. Didn't get a ton of carries in the preseason. Didn't get a ton of reps in the preseason. So it was just a weird feeling with Gary Brightwell. Then, coming into the season, makes the roster because they picked him as a special teams asset, as they explained, being the New York Giants. During camp, I believe, they said they love his special teams abilities. Then, makes the roster. Week 1, he gets 1 reception for 6 yards, which was basically his whole entire season. And then he, on special teams for the entire season, had 8 tackles in 13 games. And, with that being said, he didn't play a lot of reps at running back. I think week 1 was it, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I could be wrong because there was a shit ton of blowout games during the 2021 season. But I only remember him getting offensive reps against the Broncos. That's it. So, a lot of people, including myself, view him as a wasted player. Well, not necessarily a wasted player, but a wasted pick when we could have used it for something else. And I hate doing this bullshit of 2020 hindsight, but it just didn't make any sense when we could have used a good backup running back when Wayne Gallman was let go into free agency and we got Devontae Booker, and Booker and Barkley, I believe at the time, were the only 2 running backs that were going to be on the roster, besides Eli Penny. And Eli Penny, despite the way they used him, he is not a running back. He is a fullback. With that being said, though, they needed one more guy, and we thought, once again, the names of Puka Williams, and there's a couple other guys that I forget right now. There's a couple other guys that Giants fans were looking at in the draft, and this was not one of their guys. So coming into this training camp, he faces a ton of uphill pressure. He is really facing an uphill battle. His competition looks like this: Antonio Williams, Jashaun Corbin, Matt Breida, and Jeremiah Hall. Antonio Williams was a backup for a few years in Buffalo. He looks like a decent backup. I'm not going to lie to you. He looks like a decent backup. Jashaun Corbin, the UDFA out of Florida State, had a big run against my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Matt Breida was a backup, I believe, last year in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was in Miami. Miami was the year before. He was with Buffalo last year, Miami the year before, and he's been in a couple of different places ever since leaving the 49ers. I think a lot of running backs have had that same path, but he did have a lot of explosiveness with the 49ers. So there's that to look forward to, but it's always also a couple of years ago. And then Jeremiah Hall, who is a UDFA out of Oklahoma, but he's an H-back. He can catch passes out of the backfield. He could be a lead blocker. He could just block as a tight end. He has a lot of versatility, and he is one guy that I can't wait to do the UDFA video. It's going to come out probably next week or the week after. I kind of been holding it back a little bit because I got to do film on the right guys. But that's his competition. How he can win, he's got to show some skill as a receiving threat, show some speed as a runner, showcase his special team skill set, because that's ideally what gets some players on the roster, not just being good at their position or at least solid at their position, but doing stuff on fourth down and block well on third down. I think the New York Giants need a pass blocking running back on third down. Now, is Brightwell really known for that? That's the question. We don't know because he hasn't gotten that rep. That I would say he hasn't gotten the reps on third down. We don't know, unfortunately, and that's not necessarily Joe Shane and Brian Daboll's fault. But he's got to show something as a receiving threat. He only caught one pass last year. Didn't catch too many passes in the preseason. I know a couple of them were against the Browns when they were trying to go down the field. And he's also got to show some speed as a runner. I mean, I only saw like one good carry in the preseason. So this is a guy that's heavily scrutinized, and it's not, once again, his fault because he was picked in a situation where we needed an A type of player, but we got a B type of player instead. I'm not saying grades, but I'm just saying, for example, we needed this type of running back, but necessarily we got a B type running back. So you guys get my point there. How can he lose if he doesn't showcase any threats as a receiving running back, or he doesn't flash as a running back overall out of the backfield? It's pretty much that, and lacks the ability to block on third down. That could be a key cog in why he makes the roster, but I don't see it being why he doesn't make the roster, because I just believe that he doesn't have any threats, a threat ability as a receiver out of the backfield. Breida could do that probably. Saquon can do that. Jeremiah Hall can do that. And then I just don't see any flash out of him as a running back. Sorry. As a prediction, I have him getting cut. Maybe he goes onto the practice squad, but it's no skin off of Joe Shane and Brian Daboll's back. They brought in their guys. Their guys are better, which honestly they clearly are. Maybe Sandro Platzgummer is honestly better, but who knows if he's even going to play in the NFL. I believe Jeremiah Hall is better. I believe Corbin is better. I believe Antonio Williams is better. I believe Breida is better. And once again, I don't think Brightwell was put in the right spot, because if, it was just, the Giants are definitely winning in 2021 and, they just need some sort of a special teamer in the 6th round. This would have been their guy. This would have been their Matt Slater. But, obviously, it didn't turn out that way, and a lot of things went haywire. But if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or where a video drops. Appreciate you all coming back. Just some reminders, of course. No Boys in the Big Apple on Monday. Wednesday, we are doing a pre-draft live stream. Clutch B-Ball will join us. I think Nikki Snacks is going to join us as well to talk about the Knicks, which will be fun. A couple other guys will join us. Thursday is going to be the NBA Draft live stream. And then more content throughout the rest of the way. It's going to be a countdown to training camp. And also, I'll probably get some videos out on the trade deadline because the Yankees should be very active. Peace out, guys. See you later, and stay cool.